Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the week of the 7th of October 2013. A little bit late this week, but I'm sure you'll all survive. It's just a two-man show this week. It is me and John. Say hi, John.
Yo.
And
Uh,
let's waste no time. John, what have you been playing this week?
oh God. I've actually played
Entertain us.
a hot bunch of stuff. Let's see. I guess probably the most relevant thing is GTA Online, which was released about last Tuesday, so like a week and a day now. That's an interesting thing. It was pretty broken for like the first 2 or 3 days after it came out, just because so many people trying to play it at the same time. Um, it was pretty spectacularly broken. A lot of people lost characters and stuff.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, like lost rank, lost money, whatever. So it was pretty rough. It seems to be in a pretty decent working state now. Um, like I think probably the last 3 days it's been I think working like as intended. Um, like Rockstar have been pushing out patches pretty quickly. There's already been 3 patches for it since it launched, which is
Wow,
pretty good for
in a
like
week?
yeah. So yeah, it's up to 1.03 now, I believe. Pretty yeah. It's it's not maybe how they made it sound in trailers. It's not maybe as revolutionary as that. Um, it's sort of feels like taking the GTA 4 multiplayer and making it work and making giving it a lot more structure, I guess, in the free roam mode. It's still got a lot of like here's deathmatch, here's a race, here's all these other game modes, which that's pretty standard multiplayer stuff. Um, I guess the thing that sort of differentiates it is you're roaming around in a sort of instanced version of Los Santos with like 15 other players. You can kill those dudes if you want, or do stuff with them.
There any sort of like, because that's the one thing I mean, I didn't play GTA 4 a lot, and I didn't play its multiplayer at all. Like,
Hmm.
what is the kind of structure for the multiplayer? Like, is it?
So like GTA 4 was just like dump people into the world and they can run around and kill each other. There was no persistence to your character as far as I can remember. I
Mhm.
could be completely wrong on that actually, but it's been a while since I played GTA Online. I mean, it was just sort of here's like we put multiplayer in this game, but we didn't really put much thought into it. Like the structure now is like you can buy like an apartment. The crew stuff in like the Rockstar Social Club is like really sort of vital to that, I guess. So you can build like a crew and just have a ridiculous amount of people in that crew, and you can that like being in a crew is sort of vital to having good matchmaking experience as far as I can tell. Because
Yeah.
I don't know, like the matchmaking's not great at the minute. It's way easier to just invite people, and also those people tend to be not as big dicks as just random people. Um, and the structure just comes from the sort of like the actual persistent character stuff. Like you've got a rank and you've got money. Like money is probably the big thing. It's what you use to buy a lot of stuff, and stuff in like money isn't easy to come by, and stuff in GTA Online is sort of expensive. So
Hmm.
I've just been able to afford like my first shitty apartment. I mean, I haven't been playing it, a massive like as much as some people, and I have like lost character progress. So um,
Oh, that sucks.
don't think that it takes don't think that it takes like a week to just afford like the shitty apartment. I mean, if you play that game for like 3 days straight and just go crazy, you'll probably be able to have a lot more money than I have at the minute. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. You'd sort of have to play it to understand a lot of it. It's certainly not like an MMO, I guess, which is sort of what they were making it sound like. Like it is just like 16 players in this quite large map actually, which sort of I don't know. It makes it feel a bit empty when it's like 16 players spread out across this massive area. Like it's fun when you're in a crew because you can organize and stuff and like mess around. But when you're just with randoms, it's like here's this sort of it's basically just like the single player Los Santos. But every once in a while you'll come across someone who probably wants to kill you because they're a dick. Like there's no real, as far as I can tell, there's not really that much point in killing other players in the free roam mode, because it's very rare that people actually have money on them that you can steal. So like when you finish a job or something, or some multiplayer game mode, you'll usually get some reward, and that'll go into your cash sort of on hand, and you've got to like deposit that at the bank, because if you don't, someone can come along and jack you. But like everyone's just depositing stuff into the bank as soon as they finish the mission, so it's very rare you're going to come across someone who was like an actual good grip of cash when you kill them. So there's pretty much no point in doing it other than to be a dick, basically. Yeah, I mean it's really interesting, and I want to see that like the heist stuff, because that's not in there yet, and that could be really potentially interesting with friends. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it, actually, like more fun than I thought I would, just because like before it came out, I wasn't really sure what it was, so I was sort of excited to play it, and then when it did come out and it's sort of like here's these sort of stock multiplayer modes, but it's GTA, I was like, nah, that doesn't sound like something I want to put much time into. But I don't know, I've been having some fun. Like the races are actually pretty good as well, just because the driving model in that game's pretty decent. So yeah, I don't know. Like if you've been holding off playing it, I guess just for fear of brokenness, like I wouldn't say it's safe, because I still think some people are losing character progress, but there are ways to sort of mitigate that, and
it's less dangerous now.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to avoid it. Like the big thing was like the cloud servers have been down quite a lot, and it would prompt you with this message saying like the cloud servers are down. Do you want to create a temporary character? Like if you create a temporary character, it would just wipe like your permanent character. And yeah, they've got a big like warning tooltip thing like on the loading screen now that's like don't create a temporary character even if the game prompts you to, because it'll just wipe your other character. So yeah, it's cool now that it's stable and stuff, and been playing with friends. It's pretty interesting. Pretty funny as well. Just like that sort of like free form madness, just in the free roam mode can be pretty entertaining. Like, yeah, it's an interesting thing. I want them to do more with it, I guess. I don't know how long it's going to be until that heist stuff's in there, because it's taken them some time to actually just get it stable and stuff. So like I can't see them like rushing to put something that could potentially just destroy it all again. Yeah. Other than GTA Online, God, I did actually. I bought a PlayStation Plus membership.
Oh really?
Yes. Just a month just to check it out.
All right, just to see. I was gonna say what made you do that.
Yeah, well, I was on the PlayStation Store, and I don't know, I just like sort of hovered over the little PlayStation Plus thing, had a look what was like on the docket for this month, and it was like a bunch of stuff I hadn't played, so I was like, this seems like a good time to jump in. And it's like I think I'm not sure when the month runs to, but I think I got in pretty near the start of the month, so yeah, let's see. God, I played all the way through Spec Ops: The Line. That game's really interesting, from like a story point of view. It's sort of hard to describe, like if you haven't played it.
Yeah, I've heard that. It is one that I kind of want to check out, but it's just that's a third-person shooter, right?
Yeah, purely from like a gameplay perspective, it's not that great. If you're just going there for sort of I want to shoot dudes.
Yeah.
But that is totally that. Well, I don't say that's not the point of the game, because that sort of is the point of the game in a weird like wraparound way. But yeah, that story is pretty interesting. Like that game is flawed, but it is a really really interesting game. It does stuff, I guess, with like story in games that hasn't really been done before. But it takes on topics that I guess have been sort of avoided, and it does it in a really interesting way. Like I sort of knew like some of the major beats of the story,
I don't really know
but
any. I know when it came out,
yeah,
you
that's definitely the way to go in. I
yeah.
think is not knowing anything because I knew some stuff and it like some of the moments didn't have as much impact as they probably would if I hadn't known. But I didn't know like some of the smaller details, and that's sort of what makes that game what it is. Um, and like after that, I listened to the GameSpot did a podcast with the writer who I believe is called Walt Williams. Um, so it's like Kevin Van Ord and God, who was it? Tom McShea and Jeff Gersman of Giant Bomb. Yeah, just talking about like the story, like the themes of the game, what it all sort of means, because there are ways you can view that story that maybe aren't actually what it is. Maybe it's not all that it appears to be, just on face value. Yeah, I mean, it just tackles stuff, I guess, about like violence in video games and sort of some pretty meta stuff as well. It's just it's a cool game, and it's so weird. Like like if someone like in 10 years looks back at like the lineage of Spec Ops, it's like, oh, here are these sort of crappy PS1 shooters, then here was this bizarre like commentary or like meta commentary on video games, third person shooter that's like the last game in the series. I can't really see there being a sequel to it just because I don't think it was a massive like sales success, and like I don't know, it doesn't really set itself up for a sequel. Yeah, but I mean I just want to see like what the dudes who made that game like going to do next. I think it was Jaeger, who I'd never heard of before, but yeah, that game is really really interesting. Like not a game I would recommend you buy for like full price, just because it's quite short and like the actual
One that's just
gameplay
worth
is
checking out.
yeah. And like I've heard people say that they're not super hot on it, like just in terms of like the way the story's done, and there are some things that I guess like you could take like one way or the other in terms of like, does this thing suck or is this thing the best thing ever to happen to video games? So yeah, but that game's really interesting. I also played all the way through Brothers. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, I believe is the subtitle, which came out this year by Starbreeze, I think. Dudes who did God, what did they do? The Darkness, I think.
Yeah, well, they did the first one.
Yeah.
I don't think they did the second one.
I'm just gonna say the Brothers is nothing like the Darkness. Yeah, but it's weird.
I don't think anything is. The Darkness is really, not to get off topic like immediately, but yeah, the Darkness, like as it exists now, that is a weird game. Like if you like try and go back and play the first one now, it's like this is a weird game.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of tone and gameplay style, like Darkness was sort of a pretty violent like first person shooter. This is like a I wouldn't say like soft, but it's like a sort of fairy tale-y sort of platformer thing. Much smaller in scale as well, so it's pretty short. So I think it's like took me like 4 hours or so to finish it.
It's a downloadable game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Xbox Live and PSN. I think it's on PC as well. Could be wrong though. Yeah, so I'm just looking at Starbreeze's stuff. They did Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, The Darkness, Syndicate, Payday 2, and then Brothers, which sort of...
They seem to like vary up their games a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything they've done, as far as I can tell, is a first-person shooter until Brothers. But yeah, I mean, they like...
But I mean, mainly just in terms of tone, like they seem to switch it up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so like, I mean, they, despite them being primarily like first-person shooter dudes, they've made a pretty interesting puzzle platformer thing here. So the main crux of the game is you're controlling two brothers at the same time, as they try and save their dying father. So you control the bigger brother, with the left stick and the left trigger, and you control the small brother with the right stick and the right trigger, which can be sort of confusing for the first hour or so, just because you're like, I don't know, you're so used to like using the left stick for movement purely, and like you sort of just forget about the right stick, or I would like. So like I'd be running along, and like the big brother would be, running along in a straight line, and the other brother would just be like stuck behind a fence or something because I wasn't looking at him, I wasn't like concentrating on him at all. But it makes for some they use it really well in a lot of the puzzles. They don't sort of use it in the same way, I guess. Like they do some really interesting stuff with puzzles, like all the way through the game. So it's not like, oh, I'm doing this thing again. It's like, no, like you're constantly doing different things with the sticks and the triggers and stuff. They mix it up pretty well. Like visually, that game has a really nice art style. I'd almost say like Fable-y, I guess, but maybe a bit more cartoony. Great like soundtrack and stuff, and just that game's pretty awesome. The way I was sort of like thinking about it in my head is sort of this year's Journey, like not in terms of maybe quality, because like Journey was amazing, but like it's like a sort of very sort of simplistic story. Like there's no real dialogue. Like the bits where the brothers do speak is in like this weird made up language. So like dialogue obviously isn't important. And it's just sort of like a trip through this like cool world. Yeah, it's a really awesome game, and like the end is pretty fantastic, pretty well done. There's some very specific moments that like deserve to be talked about, but obviously can't if you have a plan on playing it because it's quite spoilery. But yeah, that game's awesome. So yeah, it's on. I think it's actually more expensive on PSN, which is weird. So if you've got the choice, get it on
it's
the
like,
Xbox
it's just
or
money
PC.
now, isn't it? On
it's like 12 quid
Xbox.
on PSN and 10 quid on Xbox Live. So I don't know how much it is, if it isn't even on Steam, and how much it is if it is on there. But maybe Steam might be the better choice just because they usually have stuff cheaper. Brothers is really really cool. Maybe this year's Journey was a bit of an overstatement, but
like you just mentioning Journey, like I'm now I remembered I really needed to order the like the collector's edition.
The collector's edition thing.
Yeah, because I want that game on a disc. Like I do that all the fucking time, but like I want that game, on my shelf. I don't just want that game in a hard drive. Journey was amazing. I love that game.
I don't mean like that's not a quality judgment. That's just the sort of type of experience that it is. Like,
it's not a game that you care about score or something. It's
maybe a bit more involved on the sort of the puzzly side.
Yeah.
But it's that similar sort of like just going through these really cool environments. God. Also, like I think I went through that game without getting a single achievement, which is sort of insane. But
I can't remember the last time I got an achievement. I was playing. I can't remember what I played. I popped in Halo 4 this past week. And I just like look like when your gamer score comes up when you sign in.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, man, I can't even remember the last time I got an achievement. It's been
I can't remember the last thing I played on my.
That's the main reason for me. I can't remember the last new game I played.
Maybe it was Tomb Raider
360. I think it might have been for me as well. Actually, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I played a bit of Far Cry 3, which is also on PlayStation Plus. Didn't get massively into it. Not like not because it's like a bad game. Just I don't know. I never found that. I never just sat down and was like, oh, I'm going to play this for like 8 hours or something. Seems cool though from the little bits I've played. Seems like a really interesting game, and like seems like they made Far Cry 2 sort of
good.
work.
I think that's. I
I
don't
mean,
think.
I didn't hate Far Cry 2 like you,
I mean,
but
I didn't really
like,
hate it.
yeah,
It was just, it was one of those games where you could just see like I can see how this would be good. Why haven't you how have you made it boring and kind of not fun to play? Like it was just one of those games where you could see what they were trying to do, and they
yeah,
just didn't do it. But yeah, they
um,
did it with Far Cry 3. That game is great. Although the
yeah. So
story stuff maybe not so much because
I just got to the bit where you go into that cave for the mushrooms, like the first time you meet that doctor guy.
oh yeah.
Just finished that mission for that dude. So I'm not, I'm not massively
Hmm.
far into it or anything, but yeah, that seems like a really interesting game. Yeah, sneaking up on a dude and murdering him with your knife is pretty awesome. That's how I've been rolling.
Yeah, that is good stuff. That
Or
just
just watching like guys get attacked by like Komodo dragons or something
Yeah,
from a
that is
it's pretty.
great. You know, that game, the random element in that game is so good. The very first time I played it, the bit where you're running away from like Voss and all his
Yeah.
dudes. I remember like running away, and it was one of those things where like I always probably a sign I've been playing games too long. But when you kind of like test like a game's attention to detail, it's like you can hear
Mm.
people behind you, and like I remember turning around and thinking, I wonder if there's actually is anybody behind me, like, or is this just one of those
Mm.
things where they think you're just going to run in a straight line? So I turn around, and there's a bear chasing me as well. And it's just like, oh shit! Like, yeah, like the random element in that game is so good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, like they're just the really just just off the cuff stuff, like playing a random encounter and like a tiger showing up and like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that stuff is really great.
Um,
It's hard to top that bear at the start of the game. I must admit that bit.
yeah.
That was just awesome.
Um, yeah. Sometimes like the sounds of the guns are pretty good.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that game's got really good
just
gun
yeah.
audio is nice. And
That's always something I appreciate. I think like Battlefield 2 Bad Company, no, sorry, Battlefield Bad Company 2, had awesome gun sounds as well. That's up there with that. Yeah, like that game seems interesting. I think I'll probably sit down and play some of that now that I've finished Brothers and Spec Ops and stuff. Although GTA Online has been taking up quite a lot of my time, just because I can play it while I've got a podcast on or something. Because I mean, saying that actually, there is some like I wouldn't say story stuff, but there's like quite a lot of like here's a cutscene where like this dude from the single player will talk to you for a bit, and like it's actually sort of pretty well done. I mean, obviously your character doesn't really say anything because they've got to accommodate for every single person's character and stuff.
hmm
But yeah, that's it. Yeah, GTA Online's cool. Anyway, the only other thing I played was a bit more of The Last of Us.
Oh, you're going through on Survivor, aren't you?
Yeah. God, where am I? I think I've just gotten to 4, I believe. Yeah, I just had the bit with Sam and Henry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, let's avoid spoilers again because I think
we'll
some
have
people
plenty of
might not
spoilers
play.
come Game of the Year, no
Yes.
doubt.
Um.
I really hope Brad plays that game somehow
Yeah.
before Game of
Yeah.
the Year.
Safe to say that game's still awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
It's weird that it's been lately, I must say, but like I've seen like a lot of like just kind of negative stuff about it. Like people kind
mm,
of like, oh, it was like cool when it was out. If you go back and play it, it's garbage. It's like the game came out like fucking 5 months ago, not five
yeah.
years
It's not
ago.
like yeah.
Like
That's weird. I haven't really seen that, but
I've seen it quite a bit. Like mainly on Giant Bomb, like a few of the forums and stuff. Like it's I don't know, like it's weird because like my comparison for that is I mean I think it is probably because it's the same developer, but it is Uncharted. Like that's
yeah,
kind of I feel that is more apparent to that game. It's like you go back and play that, and it's like yeah, this gameplay is actually quite bad.
yeah.
But anyway, that's beside the point. But
Um, God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was just on sort of Last of Us topic. I don't know if I showed you. There's a video of like I think like the PlayStation blog or whatever put it up like a week ago of this weird alternate ending to The Last of Us.
Oh, I saw that, yeah, but I didn't really look at it because I don't know, like I didn't really want to know.
No, it's not what you think it is. It's pretty funny.
I didn't really know what to think.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I
not
just
like
kind
it's
of
not like oh here's like what the actual. It's not this could never have actually been the ending because it's pretty funny.
oh, okay, is it like a joke kind of thing? Or
Yeah, I
oh,
guess. Yeah, you should watch it though because it's actually pretty funny. So yeah, people who have played The Last of Us and know the ending should probably seek that alternate ending out. I think it's on like the Giant Bomb forum somewhere.
all right, well, my,
It's pretty funny. It's a good little moment, I guess. It's actually got like it's got video recording of like the performance capture stuff, as opposed to just like the actual game, which
all
is
right, okay.
makes it pretty interesting. Um, God, what else? I think that's it for games. The other stuff on PlayStation Plus, I think was like Dragon's Dogma and oh, there's something else on there that was interesting checking out, but I can't remember. So I'm probably gonna maybe play some Dragon's Dogma after I'm done with Far Cry, because I remember giving that game some shit after I played the demo, and then hearing loads of people like really love that game. So maybe,
I was I thought the demo was okay.
yeah,
I
I
can't
don't
remember
know
much
why I
about
can't
it
remember
though, I
why I
must say.
didn't like the demo, but I remember just not liking it. I don't know. I'll give it a second go because it's free, so I'm not exactly like losing out.
Yeah, true.
Trying to play it. Yeah, that's about it for me for this week. Um,
Cool, cool. I played a fair amount of stuff this week too. I finished Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Sweet.
That last boss can suck a dick. That is one of the worst last bosses I've ever had the displeasure of playing. Was not a fan of that
Oh,
last
it's so
boss.
stupid.
It's so fucking dumb. I mean, I think the last boss, like gameplay wise, he's just not fun. You have to play quite cheap. I
Yeah.
found to beat him. And yeah, it's so stupid. It's just, and I like my stupid. Don't get me wrong. I am a big fan of
Uh,
stupid in my video games, but I don't know. There's a way to do stupid, and
Pretty stupid.
that, like, let's talk about that for a minute. Actually, let's talk about that boss fight. Like, I mean, for a start, like, there's like a good fucking like 10-minute cutscene, which is actually pretty cool, of them just beating the shit out of each other. Like, just,
Mm.
I mean, it's mainly Raiden getting owned, but he gets some good hits in here and there. But like, it's like just 10 minutes of them just beating the shit out of each other. Like, your like cyborg dog buddy shows up with the sword, like gives you this, and then like, because like he owns your other sword, he's like, oh, fucking, I laugh at you. He like snaps your sword in half, and Raiden's all like, oh my god, my sword! You broke my sword. What the fuck is going on? And it turns out that your sword was, shit. Your sword was like cheap garbage, and what's his face's sword was actually the real deal. And your dog has his sword, obviously. Yeah, then that happens. Then he like owns your dog, and then he like kind of gets control over fire or something. Like, has all these lava. Like, what the fuck happened at the end of that game?
Bizarre.
That last boss was so weird. Like,
Yeah.
it was just such a weird last boss. Like, it was like, where did he even come from? That character, like, he just,
I
unless
don't
I
know. I
missed,
wasn't really following the story at
me
that
neither,
point, so
me neither. But unless I missed something pretty big, he just turns up at the end of the game.
he's like the congressman that's like in
Because
chart. He's like
is he in the
trying to
beginning of
push
the game
this.
or something? Because
I don't think so. I think he's just some guy trying to push a bill through.
yeah, but like you don't see him until that point.
No.
No.
That's like the first time you ever
Yeah,
see
because
him.
it was
So
like, and he's built like a fucking, like a Gears of War character. Like, on
You should have probably
steroids.
said like spoilers for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance,
Yeah,
but
spoilers for the incredibly well crafted story of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
yeah, yeah,
I don't want to ruin anybody's
I
hopes here.
guess.
Um, although to get onto the story stuff, like that game has such a weird story. Like they play around with the child like kind of trafficking stuff and like the organ like harvesting and stuff like that, and then they just seem to like completely move past that and then like don't really go near it again until like quite near the end of the game. And I don't know, like that story was just so that story felt like three or four stories kind of mashed together, and it just didn't really make any sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, that last boss is fucking terrible. Like design wise, like he's just really fucking cheap. Uh, you know, I hate that like the most important part of that fight is the you know where he like throws those things at you and you have to be pretty quick on the blade thing
Hmm.
to cut them, otherwise like they're a one hit kill unless you're at like full health. I think is really shitty. Um, yeah, like just a really fucking terrible last boss. But yeah, finished that. Went and played some of the VR missions that I unlocked. Um, yeah, like I ultimately just felt really disappointed with that game. Really, I really expected more going into that game combat wise. The combat is it's really fun, but it is fairly shallow. Like that sidestep move once you get it is good because I really felt that. I really felt that it needed that anyway. To be honest, even though that is like a tier one sort of unlock, you get that really early on. But I really felt that it needed like just a dodge move in there anyway, not like an upgrade. I think that should have been in there from the
Yeah,
beginning. But yeah, just I don't know. I can't help but feel quite let down by that game. I don't think I'll ever go back to it. It's like once you figure out that counter system, it's just yeah, that's kind of it to that game.
hmm.
It's pretty disappointing. But I can I won't be completely opposed to like them going back to it. I think they could do a lot more with it. It's like from the sounds of the development, it does kind of feel like they were just handed like a system and they were like try and make this into a game.
Yeah,
And I think Platinum kind of did their best to do that. Um, so yeah, like maybe if they can have a bit more liberty with the actual combat and stuff, maybe they could go back to that and make something a little bit more deep because that combat left quite a bit to be desired for me. What else did I play? Oh, I finally finished Bioshock Infinite. I went all the way through that. I had like probably 40 minutes left to finish it. I
yeah.
went back and finished that. Um, I really can't help it. Just so disappointed with that game.
Really?
Like even after like the end,
Hmm.
I must admit the end like half an hour it does a lot. Like
Yeah,
I was straight ready to call that game just trash before that last half hour. But yeah, like the last part of that game does a lot. Definitely did a lot for me to kind of make me think better of it. But overall, I really, really, really let down by that game.
hmm.
I don't know. Like I mean, I remember when we did our Game of the Year stuff for last year. Like that was one of my predictions that game wouldn't be very good. And that's not really true because like it is a solid game. Uh, just for me personally, like it just was not enjoyable in many ways. The gameplay and combat is functional and it works, but you know I don't go to BioShock for that. Uh, so yeah, I didn't really I don't know like that. I just really was let down by that game. Very
Yeah.
disappointed. That might get my biggest disappointment for the year. Uh,
Hmm.
like I can't believe I can't believe I like I don't even really regret buying BioShock 2. I kind of regret buying Infinite. I kind of wish I didn't buy it. Ignorance was bliss. I really wish I hadn't bought it. Um, because like I feel it's kind of like almost tainted BioShock for me. You know, it's and I like 2 more than most people. Although that being said, 2 gets a lot from me personally because it just has Rapture as a setting. So that is very important to me for Bioshock. Um, you know, I admit that I, to a certain extent, can't get past that. that Columbia just doesn't feel. I don't know, like it feels in a way. It feels held back by the name, just by calling it BioShock. Uh, I don't think they need. I mean, quote unquote, needed to do it, but you know, I just don't feel that they had to do that. I think they could have, easily built an entirely new IP and universe around it, but they didn't. So, that really sucks. I'm kind of bummed out about BioShock Infinite, I must say. I was hoping that there was one of those games where like I kept playing it, and I was just kind of like hoping that something would happen that made me, think, oh, this game's actually cool. I like this game. Like, unless the DLC turns out to be really good, probably not going to go back to that game. Really, really let down by it. So that's not good. That makes me sad. On a happier note, I did play quite a bit more Metro last night. Almost at the end of that. That game is fucking awesome. God, I love that game. I love that setting, like the way they. That is like my favorite, I guess, like post-apocalyptic setting. Like it just feels so well realized. Like the Metro setting and how they've built their world around it. I'd really, if I'm really hoping you and Brad can play that before the end of the year, because still to this day there is one section in that game that I haven't heard anything about, and I'm shocked that I haven't heard anything about it. And it's not like it's something that I want you to kind of see if you miss it or something, because I don't see how people missed it.
Yeah.
I really do not see how this didn't. I mean, it's not done poorly. It's not one of those things that's like, oh, look at this really shocking thing that's just in here for the sake of it. It's like, no, this actually makes a lot of sense in the context of this game and this universe, and yet nobody mentioned it.
Maybe it's just because nobody played Last Light.
Yeah, I know not many people played it, but trust me, if you see the thing, it doesn't seem like many people played it.
Yeah, it's interesting because
pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, oh man, sort of mild spoilers, I guess, for GTA, but you probably had your head in the sand if you haven't heard about this. So there's a scene in GTA 5 where one of the characters like tortures a dude. It's not a scene where he does it. It's a scene where you, as the player, have to perform this torture. It's pretty, like, personally, I thought that scene was too far, but whatever. That's not the point.
I've heard about it. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
And so someone was like saying to Jeff was it an email and a bomb? It was some sort of question thing. It might have been like a jar time video or something, but basically saying like why people freaking out about like feminism or whatever or sexism, sorry, in GTA 5, but not about the torture scene, which is arguably worse. And he was saying like that's because one of those things requires people to actually have played the game, which sort of makes me think like, yeah, a lot of like these controversies about games aren't from people who are actually playing the games.
Well, most of the time they're not. I mean, you go back to
like, because like the people who have played these games are sort of like used to that sort of stuff. I mean, like I haven't played a game where you've had to torture a dude before, but like
no, not in game.
It doesn't shock me in any way. I think it's not a good scene at all, and the game could have done without it. But I'm not going to start going crazy and saying like games are sick or whatever. Which I think is why like that thing in Metro. Like
that's why, very good point. That's something that I mean, I say like it's hard to miss. I guess that's not the kind of game I can imagine someone playing, like especially on a first playthrough, while like listening to music or something, or like it is something that you could overlook if you really weren't paying attention. But it's It's something that I'm pretty sure has never ever been done
But I
before.
mean, yeah,
In a
I
game.
think the people who are going to be playing Metro Last Light are probably going to be playing pretty
Yeah, and like when I
bring a lot of
found
attention.
that, and it's not like and that's the thing where for me personally it was kind of shocking to see it. It's not made a big deal over. It's not like the scene in Modern Warfare 3 where, oh, look at this, like, completely token bit of you and this child getting blown up by a bomb, which
Yeah,
has no bearing on the story as far as I can remember, apart from where the next mission is. Um, and I don't want to say that's in there for the sake of it, but whatever. This thing is very sort of, this is just part of this world, and that's that. It's not played up in like a really, tacky way or anything like that. Yeah, like you're probably right. Like it requires you to play the game to a certain extent. Like I'd say that's maybe like
yeah,
a halfway through the game, maybe a third halfway through the game. It's not something you can boot up in the first half an hour and see and be like,
so,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is terrible. This is ruining our children. Children shouldn't be playing Metro Last Light.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
And there's no like pre-existing sort of stigma, I guess, against
true.
Metro.
That's very
Like
true.
GTA's been a sort of hate figure, I guess, for mass media. So,
I guess yeah, that's a good point.
um,
But yeah, that's. I mean, I think you guys should play that because it's an awesome game.
yeah, I'm totally
Um,
on board for playing it. It's just I keep forgetting that it came out this year.
yeah, it's and it like and it kind of does away with a lot of the like I feel like I can't talk about most of it because of it is fairly story heavy, like a lot of the kind of main points. But it does definitely do a lot to improve it over 2033. I think the story stuff is a little bit like there was one part that kind of confused the hell out of me. I was like, okay, I don't really get that. I hope that gets explained. But like gameplay wise, it plays a lot better than 2033.
Mm.
It feels a lot more. It's a lot smoother to play. The only thing that really kind of bugs me about it is that your guy never speaks in game,
Mm.
and yet he speaks at the end. At the end of every level, you get kind of like a load screen and like a really cool kind of effect. I just really like it. You get it whenever you pick up a fart like a diary, but like it's like the noise of like a biro scribbling on a clipboard.
Yeah,
And like you kind of get that at the end of a level, like a mission, quote unquote, and your guy is kind of like talking to himself, like as if he was writing a diary. So there's clearly a guy doing the voice for this character, and yet in the game he never speaks. It it's really strange, and like there's a couple of scenes, one in particular, where you think he would speak, but he doesn't, and like um I mean, this isn't a huge spoiler, but it's a sex scene, and he doesn't speak. It's like
no,
I don't know.
it's a bit
It's
weird.
it's just really jarring, like that he never
Yeah,
speaks, and even more so that he clearly has a voice actor. So yeah, that's
mm.
one thing about the story, I guess, that could be better. But yeah, just
It's
in terms
pretty
of
bizarre.
atmosphere and setting, just that game is amazing. It's just the attention to detail in that game is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Even with like I was just outside in one bit, like one of the few times you are like kind of above ground a lot more in that game than you are in Metro 2033. But there was this really good part where you could see like your entire shadow on a wall, and I didn't even notice it, like it had it not been for the shadow. But like when you like look down the sights of your gun, like your shadow actually moves the gun up to his face.
hmm.
And like when you bring out another weapon, like he brings out another weapon and your shadow alters and he brings it up to his face in a different way. Like it's, you know, just all the gritty detail in that game is just amazing. And like the design of the environments, it's, there's no like token derelict subway station or every single environment in that game feels like, it took months to make.
Yeah,
It feels so finely crafted. And yeah, like gameplay wise, you can't really complain about it either. So if you're a fan of 2033, like I cannot see you not enjoying that game.
yeah. I really liked 2033. So
So yeah, that's
yeah,
a
it's
lot
just
of
one of those
Metro
games
last
that I
night.
like completely just forgot
So
even.
did I. I mean, I remember when it came out, I was all for it, and I just kind of forgot. And then I booted up Steam one weekend, and it was on sale, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, like I forgot about this game. I really want to
Yeah,
play it, and I just bought it. It is really good. It's a really great game. What else did I play this week? I played a lot more Injustice. The big patch came out last week. I know we didn't record last week. There was I think it is going to be the final patch. Like a huge balance patch came out for it. Came out on the 1st of October. You can like look up the patch notes for that. I'm not going to go over every single change. Mainly just character rebalancing. Like trying to tone down some characters that were ridiculous and give some characters that were shit kind of a boost. Seems to be fairly well received. Like, judging that game by its online isn't the greatest because the online isn't that good. But yeah, that seems to have addressed some pretty big problems, like character-wise. Like some of the really powerful characters getting a bit of a tone down is pretty good. What else did I play? I played a bit more Far Cry 3 as well. Playing similar games this week, it seems. I just kind of dicked around on that. I did like one story mission, and then just went around taking over outposts and, killing animals, shooting dudes, doing, the side stuff. I seriously think like the story and campaign is the worst part of that game. Not terrible, but I like just the main group of characters is just so impossible to like.
Yeah, they seem sort of terrible.
They should do a re-release where you just play as Voss and you kill all of them. That's it. That's the whole campaign. You just kill every single one of them, and you play as him. And that would be the best game ever. Yeah. And he just feels so wasted in that game. Like he's like one of those characters that he's so good. He deserves more. He deserves more exposure.
Yeah, I've only had the one encounter with him, which is like the bit right at the start when you're in the cage with your brother and he's talking about pussy triggers or something.
That is such a good.
Still don't know what that means. Like what the.
I think at the risk of delving too much into the phrase "pussy trigger," maybe that just means like they were out partying and he's using it as like you thought you were gonna come out here and get laid and shit, but no. You didn't have your finger on that trigger. You just
pretty good.
You thought you did. I like to think.
It's a weird visual image.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Actually, I don't want to think about that now. But I can't remember hearing this. But like, was his dialogue scripted or was it just the actor like improvising? Or was it?
I mean, I think it. It was.
It was a little bit.
I guess. Yeah, I guess it'll be. It usually is.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
That seems like one of those characters that would just be really fun to play. Like, just play a complete fucking lunatic. Yeah, that he is probably the best part of that game, story-wise, like without a doubt. I think there's even a contest there, but that just nails an open world so much. Like just the freedom of being able to do pretty much whatever you want. And a damn nice looking game on PC. Very nice looking game. I think that's it for me. I don't think I played anything else this week. Nope, that was it. Fairly eventful week for me. Played quite a bit. Trying to think what else is there left of this year. I know there's Batman.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I might try Call of Duty. I might rent that if Blockbuster's still open near me.
Yeah.
If it hasn't gone. Yeah, I mean, the last Call of Duty I bought was 4, and that was a fairly long time ago. So yeah, I might try that out. But yeah, I got the new Batman ordered. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll be cool. Don't really care about Assassin's Creed. What else is coming out this year? Feels like there's more stuff than that.
Yeah, there probably is something.
Well, there's the new consoles, obviously, but
yeah, I don't know.
So what?
Nothing from that launch lineup looks.
Killzone is a launch title, isn't it, for PS4?
Oh man, I can't remember.
I think. Oh, I'm not sure. I can't remember either. But yeah, that does it for this week. That's all I played. Didn't play anything else. So let's move on to news, shall we?
Yes.
There's probably a lot, but we're gonna wait for Brad, our news Rain Man, to bring all the news because we don't know no news. Speaking of Injustice, the Game of the Year edition, quote unquote, Ultimate Edition, has been announced, and that's coming to PS4, PC, and Vita, as well as PS3 and 360, obviously. No Xbox One version though. So yeah, I don't really know why. I think there was some that was addressed, but I can't.
Some weird exclusivity deal or something.
So yeah, no Xbox One version, unfortunately. But yeah, that comes with like pretty much every single piece of DLC that's ever come out for that game. They're valuing the package, quote unquote, at like $120 because it includes all 515,000 skins that came out for that game. 500,000 of those belonging to Superman. So yeah, and like apparently there's going to be I think 30 new skins. I'm trying to find the post about it. Here we go. This is just going by the box. Oh, over 30 new skins. So I still can't find if that is in addition to what they've already released, because they released a fucking lot of costumes for that game. And Grundy better get some more, because my Grundy is lacking in costumes. He has like 2 that are actually good. So I want some costumes for my Grundy. What else? There's a Mad Catz console apparently. Smooth.
Is there pictures of it or?
Yeah, I actually went to the website to find out some more, and I found out that they have a picture of it and nothing else. So
great.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
It looks kind of cool. It does look cool, but yeah, it's the Mojo micro console for Android. Mojo as an acronym, M.O.J.O.
Everyone seems to be doing that now.
Yeah, they do.
Android consoles for some reason.
The controller looks like a 360 controller with some more buttons on it. Yeah, and I haven't really found anything else out about this. Specs wise, NVIDIA Tegra 4 T4 OS 1.8 GHz processor, 16 gig of internal storage, 2 gig of RAM, Android 4.2.2, and it's Wi-Fi, and it has USB 3.0 and 2. And it's expandable with micro SD, HDMI out. It sounds pretty, I guess, what you might expect, really, from a micro console. The thing that I think's kind of puzzling is that it's $250. That seems like a lot for that sort of thing. I mean, I know Mad Catz has gotten kind of more credibility over the past few years, like with their, hardware, because like usually they were fucking shit.
Yeah, they used to be.
They used to be terrible. Absolutely terrible. So yeah, I don't know. Like that just seems like something that's flown under the radar. You wouldn't have even known about that if like wasn't digging for news before we started this. So, but it's kind of weird that there's just no news about it. Like what kind of games they're going to have on it, etc., etc. So yeah, not much of an incentive to pre-order one, in my opinion. Putting out no information about it. So that pretty much does us for news, because we're lazy when it comes to news.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about the GTA Online launch stuff.
And new consoles coming out in like a month. In case you forgot.
I literally can't think of anything else that's happened.
I'm still not sold on a new system yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's like one of those things where if someone offered you one for free, you'd be like, yeah, cool. But, in terms of actually putting down, the best part of 400 quid for them, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of put out the call on the Giant Bomb forums because I'm like, well, I'm actually starting a new job in November.
Cool.
And I'm probably going to have money because I'm staying at home for at least until after Christmas. So, no rent or anything to pay for.
Stay at home as long as you can, man. Money.
Yeah. So I was thinking like I can either buy PS4, 250 quid straight up, or build a PC possibly. But like the PC I'd want is probably, going to be about $1,000, just to to build from scratch, and
That's how much mine was. Mine was
yeah,
grand, give or take.
I've literally got like I haven't got like a monitor or anything, so it's like
All right,
fine.
okay. I had
fine.
a monitor and mine was
Pretty
still
much
grand.
everything, yeah. So yeah, it might even be over
Although
that.
monitors have got a lot cheaper now.
Yeah,
I mean, if you just want to get like a 22-inch 1080p monitor, like they're not that expensive.
yeah. And it's just like I mean, like there was a someone posted about like the specs for Watch Dogs, I think it was on the PC.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the like it just seemed like there's a lot of people just saying like, yeah, my PC can't run this. Um,
I think that like I mean, my PC, like, I mean, I checked out some of the spec stuff and like can run it. Like, I mean, Watch Dogs in particular, I'm just not that interested in, but like I'm not completely opposed to upgrading my PC in the next year, like to run games on it. But the main thing that puts me off a new console is just the price of games. When I see like like 50 quid being kind of the entry price, it's I struggle to justify like 30 for a new game because just
Yeah.
how short games are getting. If you want me to put like 50 plus quid down for a game, it had better last me longer than like 7 hours before I'm done with it. So I think like that's my biggest turn off for the new consoles right now is just
yeah,
like Killzone, like the Killzone on PS4. I do want to play that, but that's probably going to be like a 6-7 hour campaign at most.
yeah,
And the multiplayer, I kind of know what I'm getting in for. I am not putting down 55 quid for a 7 hour campaign that I'll probably never play again, and multiplayer that I'll probably play for a weekend and then never go back to. Like,
yeah.
that is a game that I will buy for, like 20, 30 when it's on sale or something. Like, that is
Yeah,
not.
I almost wanted like I mean I probably will end up I won't buy a console at launch or have a PC built by the end of November. So like at least have some time to sort of see how it pans out in terms of like
Yeah.
are the consoles going to go for the sort of the Steam approach? Because I think they almost have to in a way.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's where like my PC kind of now is paying off. Like it's even like Batman, like the new Batman has cost me 28 quid to pre-order, and I get all the bonus bullshit or whatever for PC. Whereas on a console, like that is minimum 40, like minimum 40. Like you can pay more if you want to. So if the next gen games follow the same kind of pattern, like being £10 plus cheaper on PC, I will just get them on PC.
Yeah,
It's just a case of like will they run better on PC? Like who knows?
yeah. I mean,
You
yeah.
would like to think so, but
The smart move would definitely be leaving it for at least a month or so just to see how stuff pans out. But
yeah.
it's whether
Early
I can.
adopters always get fucked as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's something that I've tried to tell myself for like the past 2 console generations that I'll try to learn from, and I never do. Like, got a 360 when they were new. I'm now on my 7th 360. Got a
yeah,
PS3 when they were new. I'm on my 2nd PS3. Like, I had 2 PS2s. I had God knows how many PS1s. You know, and like the newer versions are always better. So I'll try and learn this time.
yeah. I mean, I'll see like what bundles are being announced and stuff and work it out from there. I mean, because I could always buy PS3. 350 quid in the grand scheme of things isn't that much, especially when I'm living at home and
Yeah,
I don't
I think
have.
if they last as well. I mean, like I think that's the biggest thing for me with consoles. I just seem to have really bad luck. I mean, if you only buy one, and you use it every single day for 10 years, like that is a pretty good,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like
price.
I've never had to get a new PS3. I've still got a fat one from God, like 2008, I think. So
Is
it's
it backwards compatible?
new.
That's the main thing I miss about my launch PS3. Like, I really miss the backwards compatibility of it. Like, because I have all my games kind of out, like across all generations, which takes up a lot of room. But like having that PS3, it was kind of cool to just think, oh, I want to play a PS1 game. I'll throw this in and then just play it.
Yeah.
Whereas now I have to, set up my PS2 to do that. But they just want to sell you more games, sell you like old versions of games. So, which I have bought, which which proves it works, I guess. I bought Crash.
Yeah.
I bought like the Crash Bandicoots on PSN. I bought Tekken 5 a couple of days ago. It's like it's terrible because you just think, oh, it's only like £6-7. Fuck it. Then you just buy more shit. That's weird though as well. Like looking at like the file sizes of those old games. Like I got Tekken 5 DR, and it's like 600 megabytes. It's crazy that game is 600 megabytes. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Oh, I don't even know.
No, we always get off topic at the end. It's probably my fault.
Yeah, like I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Like the majority of people in Giant Bomb said like PC.
That's why I went PC, and I was a little bit hesitant doing it at first because like it's a lot of money to put down.
Yeah.
You could buy a PS4 and an Xbox One and have money left over for like how much I spent on my PC. Granted, my PC, is also a pretty damn capable PC to boot. But yeah, I'm really glad I did it now because now I don't feel like kind of throttled to buy a console because, I don't need to. Like all the big stuff is going to come out on PC anyway.
Yeah.
Like
especially now with like PC ports being, pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, better than pretty good.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, they are the best version.
Yeah, and like
by far,
building a PC doesn't seem like some horrendous task, really.
Yeah, it's not the nightmare that maybe it was.
Yeah,
and like there's so much out there. I haven't
even
as well. Like there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many videos on like how to do it and stuff. I did it, and like I am by no means, an expert on hardware.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see. I guess it's just I'm not a very patient person, so
yeah.
like I don't know, like watching
that.
people like on on the fucking PS3 or on the PS4, sorry, like on the forums being like, oh, the PS4's sick, or like people with fancy new PCs playing like Watch Dogs or whatever
I suppose with the consoles, I guess you can take that with a pinch of salt. Like when I bought my PS3, I was like, yeah, PS3's awesome. And, it was kind of a thing at the back of my mind. It's like, yeah, you spent like £475 on this thing. It better be fucking awesome. Like you're going to tell yourself it's awesome, even if it's not, because you don't want to admit that you spent £500 on something that's not awesome. So there's that to take into account. Like it'd be pretty honest of someone to like buy a PS4, spend that amount of money, and be like, yeah, I fucked up. This thing's actually shit. Like I wish I'd have saved up for a PC or something. But
yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I checked the emails. There's no emails about Chinese robots. So.
Oh, damn it. That sucks.
I don't know. I guess that's it for this week. Maybe.
I guess it is. That was a pretty short episode for us.
Yeah.
Standards. But yeah, not a lot to really go over.
No.
I think release-wise, Batman is a couple of weeks away. I'll probably play a shitload of Batman because I love me some Batman.
Yep.
So boot it. So yeah, email us at themightyelectronicbox@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at TMEBpodcast. Is there an underscore in that? Nope. Yeah, no. I got it right. I remembered. Only took me 3 years. I remembered. I'm brilliant. And on that note, we will see you people next week. Peace.
Goodbye.